says we're live. You can't really see. We got to move this to over there. Okay, we got to just shift the table. We'll see if this actually works. What a mess this has been this morning. Or this evening. It's evening time. It's weird because we're swapped. We're on different sides. It's super strange. Okay, so how do we do this? Like that, I guess. Tell everybody on our members that we started a new one.
Okay. Hey, it's Droopy Ear Bunny.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on with that rabbit. Oh, okay. People made it. Hi, you guys. This is crazy. It won't connect on my phone. So we're having to do it on the computer, and the screen just looks like, I don't know, old-fashioned 1970s TV. And we're swapped, so it's really hard. It's odd. It's odd to look at. How's our fire doing back there?
Warm.
Well, I don't know why. I don't know why the phone, it just would absolutely not connect. It is warm. I've got some heat coming right here. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but that was strange. Okay, KJ said, did KJ make it? She said she hasn't seen the, why are you putting that on my, Kira's blocking the sun because it's in this thing. Okay, good. Anna's going to put the link in the group. Oh, man, that was so stressful. It has been one of those days, those super stressful days. I had to fill out a bunch of paperwork for stuff, which always completely stresses me out and I hate it. And so we actually haven't gotten really anything done. Kelly came over and brought some jacks because we're pulling the RV off the blocks and getting ready to move that. And I'm so excited, you guys. I'm so excited to see the front of the little house. So it's not so redneck, and we get the RV moved off. It'll be easier to get in there and clean it up and prep it for sale in the spring. So I got to see if I can get on here on this so I can.
I think we only look the way we look because your screen's dusty.
Well, if you had a towel, you could wipe it off. You can't do it with your shirt because otherwise you're going to show everybody your stomach.
And I'd scratch your screen.
So there's that. Let's see. How can I get on to watching the live? Because I have to go to my channel. All right. Volume's completely down. Nope, that's an old one.
I'm a southern last.
What?
I don't know. I just got told Kira is a southern last. I don't know where I'm last at, but take it.
Where is that? Where? Yep. Cave kayaking tomorrow, Anna. That's so exciting.
That sounds cool.
Streamed 8 days ago. Now I can't find the live so that I can actually like. Oh, there it is. Live. 4 minutes ago. All right. I think I got it. Can I watch it? Is it not letting me watch it? So the weather's been absolutely gorgeous. And oh, you know what I can do? Since Anna shared it in our members group, I can just go from there maybe. Look at that. I'm in. I can now read what you guys are saying. So yesterday when we did the very first burn on the fireplace, I was like, well, I don't smell any chemicals. Do you smell any chemicals? And Kara's like, no. And then we went to feed animals. So we walked behind it, and like all behind it was where all the chemical smell was. And it was bad.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
In my defense, I had a brownie, and the brownie tried to kill me because I was like, nose down.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, you have to explain that to people. You're allergic to gluten, and the brownie had gluten in it, and it stopped up her nose.
Yeah.
Every now and then we like to try things like that just to see. just to see. Okay, so I'm on it, but I'm not seeing where it's saying chat with everybody.
Allergy strike. You got that right.
What?
Allergy strike.
Yes. It's really strange. I'm having issues with all the things. Because now I'm not really seeing the chat like I normally do. But it's been a really long, this is a public live, Heather. Okay. Surprise! It was supposed to be a members only live, but that's all right. We're just going to go with it because we've been having really difficult time with it actually wanting to click in and work. So I'm not restarting it again. I did have a time. I put on there that it was what? You've got yours working?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well I don't like holding your phone. It's different than mine. It's weird. So if you can let go. Let go. So we got the sun that's getting on us. So Kira was like, I'm gonna go get my umbrella and we can sunblock. I'm having an issue with everything apparently. So we didn't get anything done today. We didn't actually no, that cuts her off. Okay. We didn't actually do any work whatsoever. Kelly came over. She brought the jacks so that we can get the did you get it on my phone?
Yeah, no, yours is doing a different kind of thing.
So it wasn't just me.
It was just you. You're on a thing where it's not the app itself, so you don't get to do the comments. It's connected to the Facebook thing, so you
Hold on. Okay. Go to my channel. Go to the live here. Turn off all the volume. We'll get it figured out. It's apparently going to be one of those stressful things. So, okay, settle down. I get paid for commercials. I'm going to let the commercial play.
Okay, I'm trying to help. There you go.
I hope on the ground because the fireplace is behind them. Let's see. Kelly asked if we were on the deck or down below. Yeah, no, we're totally on the ground because the fireplace is behind us. And look, there's this is hard. There's the boop right there. Wow. The dryer. Okay, now I've got our chat in the hand. So nope, we're doing our second burn on this. Tomorrow we're working really hard. We're gonna finish the deck. I think we've got all the hardest parts done on it, and I have learned so much about doing this deck up there and waterproofing this. There's so many things that I would do different if I was to do it again, and I'm going to do a whole video on that because there are so many things that I would do different to make it easier. There were two different kinds. You could buy a solid rubber sheet that was, like 15 by 40. And that one is probably more for this type of situation, but it was more expensive. And then this one that I got, which is the roll, is kind of to come in after the fact, and then you come underneath your deck and you put these up, and so because I'm doing it over, it's made it a little bit harder. But there's definitely some stuff that I found since I started this whole project that I would totally do different. Does the damper work in the new stove? So it does not. But what we think happened is it came unhooked, and you can actually get to this one to rehook it back up. And we were planning on rehooking it back up before we started it, and then we just forgot. So tomorrow morning we'll get that hooked back up, and then we can actually use the damper on this one. So we'll have two dampers again. We'll have the damper that's in the pipe and the damper on the wood stove. It's so tiny in there, you guys. It's 8 inches deep and 11 inches wide. And it's like the tiniest little thing. But
adorable.
It is putting off some heat. Oh, was Bob out here? Was he on it? He's working lots. Like, he's doing all of his gardening stuff and all of his stuff, and he's got extra jobs, and he's doing a whole bunch of stuff. So it would not surprise me. I know, right, Anna? What are the chances? What are the chances? I just laughed when I was like, it's not working. And like, of course it's not working, Anna. But the firewood looks so tiny. It's like, this is a little
wood.
tiny piece of firewood. Like, we're not going to be able to use big honking chunks of firewood, really. We're going to have to be pretty careful about that, because you end up stacking it up higher. I don't know how it's going to be interesting figuring it out, but I think the trees are telling me that we're going to have a mild winter. So our pine cones, and I have been, Native American lore is that the trees will tell you what kind of winter you're going to have. So if your pine trees, any kind of pine, it doesn't, or fir, any of these conifers, if your pine cones if they fill the whole tree up, you're going to have a super heavy winter, because God provides for the animals. But so the more mild winter you have, the less pine cones are produced. And we are less than half of a tree, which is a pretty, on multiple trees. There's a few trees that I've really been watching every year, and I go back to those trees and look. And so I've got a couple more that I'm going to actually go out and look at and make sure. But it really does look like we're falling into what the Farmer's Almanac is also saying. So that's good. Oh, Kelly says that at here, the cabin and here, in town, they're covered. And the trees talk to me too, Heather, and the cats and the dogs and the chickens. So I am hoping that it's a more mild winter. I'm ready for a bit more mild, because I can continue to work. Kira's here till mid-November. And if we stay mild, if we stay what is predicted, so let's just say that I'm not hoping and dreaming on a prayer, and there's no evidence that this may happen, then we should stay pretty mild. It'll get cold, it'll warm up, it'll get cold, it'll warm up. And that's kind of what's been going on the last month. And then we'll be able to continue to work a damper fund. Thanks, Anna. You're hilarious. Bob didn't talk to anybody. Oh, members only comments is on. Hi, everybody else. Oh, that's so bad. I don't know if I can change that. Oh, that's such a bummer, you guys. I'm so sorry. He should be able to, because he's a moderator. Yeah, I'm really glad that this one we can actually fix. The other one was an internal damper, and you could not fix it. That was one of the bad things about it. It kind of makes sense, though, because they're being shipped and moved around a lot. It seems like that would be an easy thing to to come undone. The cats are having a big old party right over here, you guys. They're like leaping up in the air. It's very distracting.
Mostly for Kira.
Hi, Linda, you made it. Farmer's Almanac says we will have a winter like last year. Vicky, how was your winter last year? Was it, did you guys have a hard one? Ours was not bad except for that like one week when it was like -38 with the wind chill. That was awful. But other than that, I don't think it was too horrible. It's kind of telling us that we're going to have in February, we'll have our first big dump of snow that gives us about a foot of snow. But it's saying it's going to warm up and cool down. The first year that I was here, it did that. Kira and I were milling in end of October, beginning of November, that first year I was here. And I feel like it's going to be like that because that winter did that. And we had no snow that stuck. And then you guys, the bad thing about that is the next summer we had all those horrible, horrible fires.
Yeah, like we couldn't even go outside.
No.
It was so bad.
It was bad. It was really bad. So hopefully we get enough snow that doesn't happen. Or up higher it gets more snow so that doesn't happen. Relatively mild overall. Oh, that's good. Kira's a Southern Belle. She's our sun blocker.
I get fidgety and she doesn't like my clicky clacks.
That's true. I can't do the clicking. I don't mind the swaying. That doesn't bother me. Or even the spinning doesn't really bother me. But the noisemakers, can't do those. I just can't.
I like the click clack.
We're out of propane. We need to go get propane. Kira got the rest of our lumber burned for the deck. I'm going to tell you, the part of the deck that we finished is so awesome.
It is. It's nice.
It's solid. It's sketchy up there because there's no railing. So it's super like, oh, I could fall off.
So like every time I go to sit down, it's like, okay.
Yeah. Is the chair gonna fall? Like you want to pull your chair away from the edge that you have enough room that if your chair for some reason tips over, like I don't know. I've never randomly had a chair tip over on me, but you're up there and you're like, this is sketchy, so I feel like it might. So like you pull them out. It's really funny.
Yeah, my chair only tipped over because I was sitting on a hill and I was curled up in a ball on it.
Yeah.
It was also at the same time I fell face first into a fire.
Hi, Mary.
Don't do that, people. It's bad.
Kelly's doing Uber Eats. Anna says, if you can fall off, I will fall off. It is a little unnerving being up there with no railing. So we've been milling and I've got some 4x4s that I'll be able to put up. I really wasn't planning on spending money on railing. The whole purpose of this was just to get the waterproofing done. So I'm not going to focus real hard on that, but I will bring the lumber over. And if it's one of those things that we could work on, then maybe I will. But my goal is all next week we're doing firewood. So get ready for firewood videos because that's what we're doing. And any firewood that we get donated has to be recut down into, probably recut and resplit because it only has 8 inches.
True.
It can only be an 8-inch wide thing. But I've got a lot of lumber, a lot of little skinny trees that are smaller than 8 inches that I think are going to be great. And they are dry. They have been down for years. So they are dry.
I wish we had a place close by that did apple bins because we could put apple bins in there and be set for like.
What's an apple bin?
An apple bin is where it's this wooden or plastic box that farmers use to, when it's apple harvesting season, they put all their apples in it to get ready to go ship to.
How does that help the fireplace?
It stores a lot.
Oh, okay. So you're meaning just to put
all of our wood in there.
Instead of stacking the wood, something to put. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because the wood's so small, stacking it's going to be like a little silly.
It's going to be a little difficult.
Yeah, so like apple bins would be awesome because You just throw them in there, and they're not hard
Well,
to get
we
in.
could kind of make our own. The one that Victor made out of the pallet was very easy to pull wood out of. The ones that we made over at that we were just filling up that had the fencing around them, that was great for moving and easy to just throw things in. But getting the wood out was really hard. I had to cut the fencing and
Yeah.
and you're kind of trying to reach in there and stuff. So that was
Yeah.
not as fun.
Yeah, apple bins, you don't have that problem because the wood are plastic. And the best part about apple bins is they stack so nicely on one another.
Kelly says that Costco has watermelon cardboard ones you might be able to get.
It's a cardboard.
Yes, so the pieces they can only be 11 inches. And then it has to be a little under 8 inches in width. So even if it's a split piece, like we do have some that are real, nice big round trees that have been down that we're going to be cutting and we're going to split them. We're going to have to measure it and make sure that it fits in, that it's split enough that it actually fits in there. I do have to say though, it's not burning like super fat. There's quite a bit of heat coming off of that.
There's a lot of heat coming off of it, and it's burning super slow.
Yeah.
Which is super nice.
That is really nice. Because the other one burned really fast. So, I mean, I just, like KJ was saying, that we may burn quite a bit less.
Yeah.
Vicky said someone like me would be doing an army crawl while up there without a handrail.
I'm with you, girl. I'm with you.
So we do have some community things that if we need more firewood that they'll donate. I think it's like 3 cords of firewood. We would have to go in and chop saw them into the appropriate size and
luckily she has that little baby saw
and split them enough to do it, because you wouldn't be able to do it with the chainsaw because you couldn't hold the piece still. So, and luckily we have the splitter, my son's splitter, and I have the chop saw, so I'm pretty sure we'd be able to cut them.
I just looked at the pallets you have. We could totally make our own apple bins.
Yeah, we can make pallet ones and just do wooden sides instead of. But I do have these little plastic crates that I'm going to use to be carrying the wood inside, and I have 3 of them. And we'll be able to just set them there and fill them full, and then you can just lift them up and bring them in. You can either bring all 3 in at one time, and then I think the height that I'm going to come up with the cabinet underneath it is just going to be big enough for that to kind of slide in and out, is the height I'm going to go for. So that's what we're doing next week. This week is finishing this deck. Next week is that. And then from that point on, we're working on the goat barn, because those are our musts.
You could also use your water bins that aren't being used for kindling.
No, we're not using more water bins, because I have water bins that are all being used for water. There may not be water in them over the winter, but there will eventually be water back in them. Are you talking about pulling the plastic out of the center?
The big black ones like you have.
Oh, got you. Okay, yeah, those make sense. That makes sense. But yeah, we have to figure it all out, and we have to get as much stacked, and it's just going to be really awkward cutting that length. I've seen where they've taken like a stick thing, and it attaches onto your, like with a magnet onto your chainsaw bar, and then you can mark your cuts, and then you can come back and just cut on that. You pull that off, and then you can do all of your cuts. I may try to make something like that so it goes by fast, because we have a lot of lumber to cut, a lot of logs to cut. And it absolutely kills my back. So if we're we're going to have to cut and rest and cut and rest and cut and rest. And probably going to have to get like a back brace or something to help my back.
Yeah.
On that one. I wish the excavator was still here because we could hold the log up and then cut it with it being held up would be pretty cool.
I'm Googling ideas.
Oh, Anna. Can't remember if you have a chop saw. I cut my limbs with mine. I do have a chop saw, yeah.
She also has another baby hand chainsaw.
Those don't work. That won't work on this because you can't hold onto the wood. It'll fling the wood. So that's not safe. Has to be a chop saw type situation. The table saw could work.
Oh, that makes it so much easier.
If it could be up higher, like you could raise it up. It just depends upon how thick the wood is. So, ooh, hi Jen.
Hi.
We kept a lot of kindling size wood when we had coal furnace at the home place. Also had a wood stove in the garage. Once you get the hang of it, it's not too terrible to stack. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's when you're used to, 16, 18-inch logs versus 10-inch logs. I don't know. I feel like they would fall easier just because they're lighter weight or something. I don't know. We'll definitely figure it out. We've got a big space to have firewood in, so I think we'll be good.
Jig that table saw.
What?
Jig that table saw.
Jig for the table saw.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, dyslexic kicked in.
We did double rows. Yeah, I think we're just going to start in the back and we're just going to, kind of, where you pick off the front and you make your way back. I don't think I'm going to have a row down the center or anything like that because I think it will help hold itself up. And then we could come in with some boards and like brace it, throughout. And that way it, because I would like to go up as high as I possibly can. I think the sides were 6 feet. I think the sides are 6 feet and could be 5 feet. No, because I have to use my hands up. So it's got to be 6 feet. So if we could go up 6 feet and stack that way, I'd like to have my generator inside there too. It would protect it a little bit better. But we'll see if that'll work or not. Do like a tiered cake and stick skewers through it. Yeah, just kind of lay some, 2x material through there. That'll help hold it in. I don't know. That's the one thing that, one thing we've decided we're not doing anymore is dividing and conquering because we work faster when we work together. So,
yeah,
we'll, Kira will be splitting and I'll be chainsawing and cutting them. And then we'll just be loading it, throwing it, split it, throw it in the back of the truck, drive it over here, back it up as close as we can, and then start stacking. So, I don't know. You were taught to stack where you let air flow through, and I don't like stacking that way because I found that falls more. But I understand it if your wood's not dry all the way and you need it to dry. Luckily enough, all of this stuff is very dry. So we'll be able to like stack it really kind of hard, or kind of like just stack it in a straight row.
Yeah, Donnie kept trying to make me stack that way. My brain was like, ooh, this fits here like a puzzle piece. Okay, and this one goes here. Ooh. He goes, they need airflow. I was like,
well, they do need airflow if they have not dried.
Yeah.
So
it takes a year for a tree to fully dry out.
So the plan for next year I'm hoping that I have enough firewood for a couple of years. If this thing is super efficient, between this and my propane heater, which really does a fantastic job, I think we're going to be really good and I won't have to be burning all 24 hours. Like we'll do propane at night and or if I leave, and then I'll do this if I'm, home. So I'll be able to save on propane and that kind of stuff. But if I'm hoping that I only burn like 3 cords. I'm really pretty sure I have way more than 3 cords of wood in logs right now. So the plan for next year is I'm going to be selling my RV. I'm going to be working hopefully this winter where I can get it all cleaned and little things fixed up that need to be fixed up and put it up for sale in the spring. And then I'll buy a load of firewood logs. And the load of firewood logs is like $2,400, but it's 14 cords of wood. So we would be set. I would be set, plus Victor would be set. So that's kind of the plan with the firewood. And then we may end up renting that big machine that you just drop the log in, and it has the conveyor belt and saws it and cuts it and splits it. It does like all the things. Like you just rent it for the day. So let's see. Link for the guide on here and texted it to you. All right, though, the link for the guide. Oh, okay. You found a guide that's already made. Airflow for wood cut that season. Yeah. But when I started looking for different ways to stack firewood, because the way she stacked it, it kept falling. And, it wasn't in an enclosed building that the sides could brace it. It had to sit with its own. And I'm not a giant fan of Wrangler Star anymore. It's kind of gone a little strange, but he had a whole tutorial, and he was a firefighter and all of this stuff. And he had a tutorial on how to stack your wood and how they stacked wood in Germany. And that's the one that I followed, and it went really well, and we didn't have any of it fall over. And there wasn't airflow in there. It was just stacking it. But that was one of the things that it was saying, was that if your wood is seasoned wood and dried, then this is how you do it. Dual heat sources, they definitely are going to help. The dual heat sources were such a blessing last year. Because the biggest problem was, one, I didn't have too big of a problem getting up in the middle of the night, because I do that anyway. And adding firewood to the stove and just restacking it. But if I left and the fire would go out, I would come home to the inside of my house the same temperature as it was outside. This metal building does not hold heat at all. It doesn't hold the heat. So that's a big issue. And that's kind of a big problem that I think people need to think about when they're doing buildings like this. Now, if the barndominium, whenever I do the barndominium, I'll have 6 to 8 inch walls, where I'll be able to, and hopefully then I'll be able to, sorry, Ashley, getting a phone call. So then I'll be able to afford to have the spray foam, and everything is like super thick foam and really good insulation, and the building will hold heat. This building does not hold heat. It gets really cold in there. So that being said, having the propane being able to go, and I only put my little propane thing on low. I don't put it any higher than low. It sits on low, and let's see, it was 30 degrees outside. It was 70 in there with the propane only, no firewood. And then when it got lower, I think now when it was the negative 38 with wind chill, it absolutely did not sit. I mean, I had to have the fireplace going, but with just the regular temperature that we get, it kept it really good. I watched a channel that used a cutter splitter machine. You can do a lot of wood in a day because you use a tractor or skid steer to load it. Yep. I wonder if you could build a shell around it with insulation, etc. I'm not saying it's worth it. So I had kind of thought that I would like to do that. That is actually something that from day one, that I would like to do. I've seen a lot of people do insulation on the outside, and they add that insulation envelope, and then they can do wood and cover it with wood and stuff. And I may do that. I would definitely do it if I was planning on staying in this for the rest of my life. If this was my long-term housing, then I would definitely do that. I don't feel like people are going to really come up here and visit a lot in the winter time, because eventually this will be my guest house. I'll probably keep my crafts and stuff maybe in here, maybe do my soap stuff in here, depending upon how big the barndominium gets to be. So if that does happen, that really may be something that I look into. I have been looking into it. There was one that was really cool that they did. They made it look like a log cabin on the bottom by, getting the log cabin cut wood and putting it up there. It was really pretty cool. It's about $700 a day to rent. Yep. They're pretty expensive. The pigs are carrying on. So that's definitely been an idea. I'm really looking forward to getting this little tiny house done. And then I feel like this year, Kira and I have kind of closed up some loose ends. Getting the tool shed back up and a few things finished inside. But I don't know. I feel like we've done a lot, but then I feel like we haven't done a lot.
I'd say we did a lot because my body says otherwise. And my pants.
Yeah, but when I'm looking around, I'm like, there's still so much to do. I do think moving the RV and getting that pulled off is going to make a huge difference. And then, we've got stuff sitting out on projects that we're actually working on. So they're just covered with tarps, and that definitely is
Hey, baby boy.
hard to it makes it look like there's a bunch of junk everywhere, but it's not. It's projects that are in the works of being finished that are covered. So once those projects get finished and that material gets put away and it gets cleaned up, we will be coming in with the skid steer and clearing out underneath all these trees that are right here in front. And I think that's also going to make a really big difference in just how everything looks, kind of thing. And the feel of, okay, I feel like we got more done. Kelly said, I think you and Kira have gotten more done this year than you've gotten done any other year. And then KJ said, just keep in mind on your house size, the bigger the house, the more energy it takes to heat it. It's true. Kelly said, you alone and then you and Kira together have gotten more done together in just 9 months than you have with anything. And I have to remind myself that. I mean, one, we're financially restricted, so we're waiting for money to come in to get things done. So that's kind of a thing. But I'm ready. I'm hoping that we'll be prepared next year for getting the deck finished around the outside, so we have more comforts. I think that's kind of what we're ready for, some comforts at this point, because we've been camping for 4 years.
I don't mind it. I think the only thing I do mind is the wires. The wires are
walking on the
yeah. I was like, nope.
The extension cords everywhere.
Yeah.
I know once the little goat barn's done and that's an easier setup, it's kind of a pain to get the goats out, to get them milked, and like those things. Like, you just open a gate and you let the animal in. Like that type of stuff is going to be huge, and it's going to make doing the things just that much easier, which is going to be really nice. Like that's the stuff. That's kind of the stuff that I'm talking about. Like definitely the cords are super annoying because you can't just vacuum.
Yeah.
You have to move a bunch of stuff to vacuum. So I'm ready to have all of that done. I'm ready for my bedroom to be done and to have a way to place to put my clothes instead of totes. Like, I'm ready for that. So, getting that done this winter is going to be huge. And then I think that's just going to make us more productive next year. A better productive next year.
Yeah.
Yay, I'm going to get paid. The Senate passed the VA funding bill. Carol agrees with Kelly that we've gotten more done. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate that. Because when you're up close to it, sometimes you just can't see it. You just don't see it. And you're going.
Now I smell the chemicals.
You smell the chemicals now? I feel like it needs more stuff added to it. It's burning pretty hot, but I don't. It's supposed to be a little bit hotter than what it was yesterday. And then we have one more burn where you get it up to 400 degrees. And then you let it cool down. So that's, maybe it doesn't need any more added to it. And then it'll be ready to go inside. We've got to do the cabinet area in there. So this one's going to be neat because I think it's going to set back closer to the wall. It has to be a foot out, but since it's such a small unit, it's not going to take up the same amount of space as the other one it does. And which will give us more space right there, which has been really nice having more space right there.
Yeah. With
the other one pulled out. That other wood stove is so freaking heavy. Us moving it was like, I don't know. It seemed like 1,000 pounds. I don't know how much it weighs, but it totally, if it was 800 pounds, that would not surprise me. KJ, you've been kicking butt and taking names this year. A slow start, understandably, but you're rocking and rolling now. Thank you. My health is doing way better than I thought it was going to. I'm definitely still dealing with, let's see. So this morning I made bacon, egg, and cheese burritos. Well, I shouldn't have eaten the tortilla because it gives me really bad acid reflux. So that's, adjusting the diet so that I don't have to take medication has been a real big deal. And I'm on zero. I don't even take Tylenol, you guys. Like, my arthritis pain is 95% better. When I eat something that I should not eat, I then the next day struggle. But then if I do a cleansing day where I just eat meat all day long, it moves it out and it's only a 24-hour thing. Are you finding that with your sinuses and stuff?
Yeah, when I just eat the meat on the carnivore diet, it's so much better. The keto diet, I still get some nose stuffage.
I think that's because we do like the keto tortilla shells and we do like that, and that stuff I think is why.
Yeah.
Like if we just did a meat and a vegetable, I think you'd be much better.
I'd be fine. Because we did meat and I was good with some vegetables. And we use ranch dressing, but that ranch dressing doesn't bother me bad. Because
ranch dressing's on keto though.
Yeah, so it's nice.
Yeah.
The little milk that they do put in it's not bad, so it's nice.
I do have to tell you, because you guys, we've all kind of gotten the creameries for the ice cream. I do the move class through the VA, and I was telling everybody about it, and pretty much everybody in the move class is buying one.
They're like, hello.
They're like, what is that called again? But like the biggest thing that I've done is I'm trying to make everything, how can I make this have the highest protein in it? So for instance, the ranch dressing, I think what we're going to end up doing is buying the dressing mixture or mixing it myself and adding it to, what are you freaking out over?
I just realized your stove is so tiny, I can get a little beanbag and put in front of it.
No, because then you're blocking the whole aisleway and I'll kick you. Anyway, making everything have a higher protein content because then you're fuller. The biggest problem that we're having is because, so I'm on the Wegovy and I've lost I don't know. I think I'm at like 25 pounds now. But I'm not hungry at all ever. Like I have to say, you have to eat. And poor Kira's starving. And she won't tell me she's hungry. And then I don't think about it. And then I'm like, you haven't eaten today.
Like, no,
no,
not at all.
I haven't. It works really well because we get a from Costco. Sometimes Kelly will bring it up here. A couple of times we've gone down there. One of those big chuck roasts, and I cook it like a steak, and then I eat off of it, and then she could just eat off of it. Like, you're hungry, go get a big plate of meat, and you're good to go and eat till you're full. We haven't been doing that, so that's kind of been the problem. Is
It's really hard to sleep at night because I learned pork and chicken digest super fast than cow.
than red meat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I'm like, okay, just go to sleep. Don't. It's like I can do this.
Did you eat all of the what are those those sticks that I got? Those meat sticks? Are those all gone? Yeah.
Maybe.
So I tried with those snackies, but just having the big giant chuck roast has been the best way for us, because then you can just grab it and eat off of it. But trying to figure out how can I make whatever and just make it have higher protein count has worked really well.
Yeah. Because the more protein count in it, the longer I stay full, which is super nice, especially during bedtime.
Yeah, so Anna says she makes her ranch with Greek yogurt and ranch powder. That's kind of where I was going with that, of doing it like that, because then it's a higher protein, which makes you fuller and fills you up better.
Yeah.
So how much weight do you think you've lost this summer? Kira's been here now 4 months.
Yeah.
That was when the video came out that said you'll never guess who's here.
I lost about roughly 30 pounds.
Yeah. Dang, that's awesome.
Yeah, because I was about...
You were 180 when you got
Yeah,
here.
I was getting chunky. But...
She doesn't mind her weight being told.
I don't care. I don't see why it's a big thing, so I'm still trying to figure it out. But
when you're in the ones, that's fine. So when you get out of the ones and into the twos, that you don't want to announce it to everybody.
Well, my biggest problem was I was always normally underweight because I could not gain it.
Well, because you were on medication that kept you.
I was on medication that kept me. I was always busy and working, and I was not very well allowed to eat in certain circumstances.
Not when she lived here. She's always allowed to eat.
When I'm here, forget. I'm allowed to eat.
I get onto her about not reminding me that she hasn't eaten.
Yeah, but when I was living with certain people for 6 years, eating was a challenge. It was keep going and don't stop. And when you do take a break, you're either too tired to eat or you're super hungry. Everybody thinks you're just working it down.
Which is so hard because you can work better when you've eaten. That's the problem that I'm having. I have no energy. And I was talking to Anna and she's like, you're not eating enough calories. So I'm trying to make it to where I eat one big meal in the afternoon that has the right calories in it. And then because I'm just not hungry at all.
I know your fat coffee shakes are really good. I like those.
The protein shakes. So I do the coffee and protein shakes that are really good. Same with me. My inflammation, one meal with refined carbs or sugar, and I'm flared up instantly. One day on keto, and I'm so much better. Yep. I'm absolutely shocked by it. And I was really disappointed in this class that I'm doing. The nutritionist did not want me to do keto or carnivore. She was like pushing the food pyramid. And I was like, well, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because it's working. And this has to do with my lupus and RA, not particularly weight loss. And luckily the psychologist that's there, talks about why we eat the way that we do and those kinds of things. It's actually pretty nice. He backed me up and said, Heather, I work with a lot of people that have lupus and RA and autoimmune, and you are doing the diet you should be doing. That's what's recommended by their doctors. And so keep doing that. because
I just think that lady's dumb because she's not trying to push, looking for new solutions for
she says she needs to use a small tea kettle with that new wood stove. That I would have to say is my one kind of, I do cook on my wood stove. And I don't know if there's like a plate that you can get that could expand the top of it a little bit so that you could, because if it was a cast iron bib, let's say, that went on that you could clamp onto there, that you could have the bigger cooking space, because I do cook on it. But
I have a tiny teapot.
Propane is not expensive, and throwing stuff on my stove, in my stove. And the one thing that I really like is putting the Dutch oven on top of there and then filling it full of whatever, especially soup. And then you can very easily warm up a soup or whatever. And then I drink a lot of hot tea all winter long. So having the hot water kettle on there, heating up is nice. So
would be okay if I kidnapped your mushroom coffee then? For winter?
No. That actually helps my stomach.
Yeah.
So I put that in my protein shakes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to order some for me.
Yeah.
I like the mushroom coffee stuff because everything goes through nice and clear and it tastes good.
Yeah.
And I hate mushrooms. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this is gonna be gross, and I drank it. I was like, oh god, where's this been all my life? And it's healthier for you than coffee beans.
When it gets all stiff, they're doing the little teapot.
I have a tiny teapot at Dad's that I use for tea.
Just like I do have a tall, skinny camping one that's all metal. I love looking at all the camping stuff. Like, you get really good.
I remember seeing that and it freaked me out. I was like, what is it?
Yeah.
Oh, guys, guess what we saw? We went and watched Beetlejuice.
Yep.
It was awesome.
She loved it. I was like, meh, it's not my humor, but
yeah, we've come to learn that I still have child humor. I like simple things. She's more sophisticated.
Well, I don't like disgusting things. Like, I don't like snot coming out of people's mouth and nose and butt, and I don't think it grosses me out. And so
jokes are always going to be funny.
I just don't enjoy that. And then I was trying to think, did I see the first one? And I don't know if I did. I think it might have been one of those things that I started watching and just got distracted and left.
I could totally find it.
Anna said, go see I Am Race. She has to watch that one with me next because I really want to go see that one.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Anna says she laughed so hard, everybody in the theater was laughing. So you may think it's funny.
Is it simple-minded funny or sophisticated funny? Because that's a big thing. Because
I bet it's simple funny. I bet it's easy funny laughing.
Okay. I'll give it a try.
Yeah, you will, because I went and watched Beetlejuice, so you have to watch my pick next.
Hey, at least it wasn't a scary movie.
So I won't watch those. That's
I
how
know.
the devil gets in. I don't do that. It's ridiculously funny, is what Anna said. Yeah. So we Tuesdays here are $5 Tuesdays. So it's an older movie theater, so it's not super fancy, but it's nice to go watch a movie, and that's what we're trying to do on Tuesdays. So we'll go see that next Tuesday. We may skip a day because we've got to get firewood done next week. All the firewood has to be done next week.
And if we do what she says, we don't have to go Tuesday. We can just do a matinee.
I don't know if their matinees are $5. That's
true.
That's how it was where I lived in Texas.
Yeah.
Victor and I used to go see matinees all the time because it was $5 matinee. Kelly was like, and you didn't invite me? Actually, I think I talked to you and you said you had a migraine. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't remember. KJ said the matinees here are $6.
That's not
bad. We were talking about, what do you like most about going to the movies? Is it seeing the movie on the big screen, or what? And what did you say?
The movie trivias, because it shows you how into TV, how into movies and shows you are. That's what really gets me, because I like shows and movies. How do I put it? Not trying to put myself down, but I don't do smart. I do movies, patterns, and colors. So watching shows and TVs and stuff it's fun for me, because it's a story that is being told. I like stories.
Right.
So when I get to watch movies and stuff, it's awesome, because it's like, oh, look at all the stuff. And I like going to the theater because it's like big screen. It makes you feel like you're right in the movie itself. Super fun.
I like the entire experience. I like really nice movie theaters. I like getting the popcorn, sitting down in a comfy seat. I love the surround, the fact that you can hear everything. A lot of times I can't hear things because of the ringing in my ears. I like all of that. And I like the fact that I can turn my brain off. When I watch TV here, I'll get up and do things because I can't turn my brain off. So that's what I really like about going to the. That's always been my okay, I'm taking a break. I'm going to go watch a movie kind of thing. But I've gotten away from movies because I haven't wanted to support the Hollywood. I haven't wanted to do that. So I haven't been to a movie, my goodness, in a long, long time.
Yeah.
Years. And
Yeah. I think the last before this one, the last movie I went to see was when Kim was here, and we went and saw Malignant.
Oh yeah, for your birthday.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't ask Dad to go to movies because he has PTSD and doesn't like being enclosed in dark spaces.
Well, that's a nice thing about this movie theater here in Sandpoint is it's small and it's not booked all the time. Like there was very few people in there when we went.
Yeah. Like I think if we went when it first showed, it would have been packed. Because when the first Spider-Man movie came out, I think it was Far From Home, that one. I went to go see it during $5 Tuesday. Every seat was filled.
Yeah.
I was so pissed because I had to go watch Toy Story 4. Like, this is dumb. Mind you, the Toy Story 4 was still a good one. I was like, still not
See,
my favorite.
I like the Toy Story movies. Those are a lot of fun. Those are very cute. And there's a lot of humor in those.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I don't like gross things. I just don't like gross things.
Yeah. Like gross things, pimple popping. I will watch pimple popping videos.
I cannot.
They're like so addicting. It's like, oh my gosh, how did that get in there?
You know, guys, I just kind of thought of something. When we move the RV, our shower is just going to be like open for the world to see. Not the world, but you know what I mean. The shower is behind the RV. Luckily enough, you really can't see anything going on in there, but still, that seems a little awkward.
I think it would be nice because then the sun can hit it and light better.
I was really thinking, what am I going to do with the shower once the shower inside is done? And
it'll totally be going in the garden, so that way if we're dirty from the gardening.
Well, it can, but it also would work really well for
the
baby animals. Pull it apart, and then you can put a heat lamp on the top, and babies can go in there. It'd be like, I was looking at it the other day, and I was like, yeah, we could have 2 of those little baby animals, or a pig shelter.
Yeah. Ooh, it'd also be a good dog wash area.
Could be keep one half and keep it as a dog wash.
Yeah.
We definitely need that. The dogs get really filthy. So that's
we mean Chloe.
That's another. Chloe digs a hole and then rolls around in it and covers herself in dust and then comes inside and shakes. I want to strangle her.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that she's shedding.
So the area that they have right now, I want to either pea gravel or put fake grass down because it is all shaded, so it wouldn't get hot. But I could put the fake grass down and then it would be easy to clean and wash off and they would not get dirty. But we're going to be fencing in that whole big back area. So they'll eventually have a huge area to play in, but we could shut them into this small area. And it's got to be figured out so that they can't get filthy, because I think most of our dust and dirt inside is from Chloe coming in. I went to Deadpool and Wolverine on opening night at that theater, and it wasn't that bad. Okay. You may hate me for this, but I was not a fan of that movie.
She's a Nazi.
That's not my humor. That's just not my humor.
I get it. Now, Deadpool's not really hero friendly.
No, but I liked Kill Bill.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, you would like Kill Bill.
You traitor. That's what I thought. My cat's a butt.
The shower show, Anna. Cabana shower for the poolside lounge. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I need a good dog bathing area. That absolutely has to happen. When I build the milking parlor, the cat's rubbing up on the table. When I build the milking parlor, that area is actually going to have a shower in it that can be used as a shower or to rinse off, when we're processing, to rinse the animal off. And so that'll be there. So I don't think we need to keep it as a shower, because there will be that second shower that somebody can use if they absolutely need to, kind of thing. But I've definitely made the decision that next season our big focus is going to be the shop, but that cannot start until logs can be delivered, which I think is May. And then we'll be able to finish milling and, any trees that we have to pull down or whatever. That's where we're at. We're only cutting down a tree if we have to. So we do have some dead standing ones that'll be cut down, but we want to keep the trees how we have them now. We want it to be foresty up here. So we'll have to be bringing in logs and such.
I think if we go down your crazy hill and we put money aside for a 4-wheeler or maybe a horse, we can make a pathway or something to get some dead trees from down there.
Down low. It's pretty steep. It is pretty darn steep.
We're going to need like 10 more goats.
It is pretty steep. I think if we were to, there's like parts that you would have to like attach a winch to a tree and winch it up to that section. Or if you had a tractor or a 4-wheeler, you would have to winch it to you, because it's pretty steep in the areas that we've hiked it, and it's like kills you doing that hike.
Hey, now that it's getting cooler, we can go cave hunting, since
once we get the firewood done, we probably can go cave hunting.
I want to go cave hunting before I leave. Because justice, people.
Anna couldn't watch Kill Bill. KJ, I fast forwarded through the massive fight scenes in Kill Bill just too much. I like movies that at least someone. Yeah, I agree with you. The fight scenes were way too much. But it's one that I got up and I watched at home. I did not go to the theater for it.
Too much how?
There's a lot of slaughtering of everybody.
Oh.
Because there's lots of fight scenes.
I would love this movie.
With swords and stuff. There's a lot of sword fighting and stuff.
Ninja!
Yeah. Yeah. I have to pack. I'm listening. Okay, Anna.
Where are you going?
She's going on a kayaking trip into some caves.
That's so cool.
So cool.
Oh, Anna, if you ever go to Kentucky, visit Mammoth Cave.
Well, she lives in Kentucky.
Hey, Anna, are you single?
She is single. I've actually told her I want to set you up with Kira's dad. But he doesn't want to date. He likes being a bachelor.
Well, that to the girl he asked out when he was still a cop.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, that didn't go through. I think that relationship would have been too much for him.
He picks the crazies.
Yeah, my mom and Curtis's mom are exact.
Yeah.
Like, I asked my dad, I was like, what's Curtis's mom like? He goes, a little like your mom. I looked at him, I was like, am I seeing a type here? He goes, I am not having this conversation with my 11-year-old daughter. I'm just saying. I was like, there's something I need to know?
Well, we did start late, but it's almost 6:30, and we are going to run into town, so.
We got to get something for the pig water because they fight over who wants to drink first.
I went over there and I was like, Kira, the pigs are out of water. She's like, no, they're not. I filled it all the way up. I'm like, no, they're out of water. And she's like, meh. And
I had to double check to see what was wrong because it was halfway full yesterday. And I was like,
yeah, but you do have all of those bricks in there. I mean, that makes it look fuller than it really is.
I did fill it. It was like all the way to the brim. So I think it just leaked like it did. Which
KJ said Mammoth Cave is awesome.
It is awesome. Mind you, don't go when it's dark. It's kind of freaky because they blow out the light on you. You're just like, oh God.
All right, you guys. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for hanging in there with me. Sorry for all the people who watched that couldn't chat with us. That makes me sad.
Yeah.
But
also,
we had lots of technical difficulties this morning on this, getting this live set up.
Where in Kentucky do you live?
She's not going to tell you. That's Privacy Act. Bye, everybody.
I town. Ciao.
I don't know if that clicked off. It did not. I don't know how to exit out of this thing. I'm new. End the stream. There we go. End.